Welcome to One More Game, presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I'm your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside my always festive wife. You got your earrings in. Did you wear them on the last pod?
Maybe.
It's been a few weeks. You were in the holiday spirit prematurely, as always, but...
I can only wear these earrings for several weeks out of the year, so I wear them all the time.
Starting in November?
Starting in November.
Okay, well, early November. But good to be back. We've taken a little bit of a hiatus. Life's been more than crazy.
Whoa.
Why do we say that every time? And then just when we thought, like literally there have been 3 major things.
Major.
In fact, in the last week, we wrote down this date and said, circle this one on the calendar.
Yeah.
It was my buddy's birthday. And I said, we will remember this date
Yes.
next year when it's his birthday because lots of stuff happened.
We will talk about that later, though. That is not to be discussed today.
Not to be discussed today. Amongst that, we almost adopted another child. I mean,
we sure did.
There was lots going on.
That is also still to be determined.
That still could be determined too. So you never know. You better keep tuning in because
we might have another kid.
We might have another kid. So we got a lot to get to today.
Yeah.
You have been busy. Some of the things that we can talk about are your work with leukemia.
Yeah. So I am a candidate for a Visionary of the Year here in Northeast Indiana for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'm going to start raising money for that. So we have a good pickleball friend who had acute leukemia, and he is recovered now.
Shout out to Bob.
Bob, white hair Bob.
White hair Bob.
That's how everybody knows him. But he was part of the inspiration for why I said yes to this. And so you'll hear more about that in the future, but tuck that away for the...
Is it too soon to put some links?
It is too
soon.
Okay. It's too soon.
We won't do that quite yet, but like you said, put a pin in it.
It starts in February.
Okay. But you've been working hard on kind of getting that going. Mm-hmm. You've also sold 3 houses. Congratulations.
Past couple weeks, thank you.
Way to go.
Thank you.
You had a pretty rough time, so very, very happy. I'm very happy, personally.
Yes, you are.
For you, but also for me and for our checking account.
Yes.
So thank you
You're
for
welcome.
your hard work.
I do my best.
So yeah, it's been crazy. You can see behind us the progress that has been made here at Ace Pickleball Club. Big thanks, as always, to Ace for allowing us to do this little podcast here. And
I get to go test out the floors here in a minute when we're done.
This is going to be your maiden voyage.
I'm excited.
I've hit around a couple times. Nothing too serious yet, but it'll be fun to hit them around a little. Mm-hmm. We are getting very close to opening up, and we're talking a mere weeks away.
Yeah.
So courts are all installed, all 21 of them. They look fantastic. Getting the cameras set, getting all the cleanup. A lot of dust in the air. You might be hacking a little bit when you're out there, but
it's all right.
Things have been really good. Yeah. Exciting times around here, and appreciate you being patient with me as I've had a couple later evenings than I am typically used to.
It's all right.
But it's been good, getting closer and closer. So today we have a few topics. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to kind of do these fairly quickly. The first topic we'll spend a little bit more time on, and that's the 4th shot drop. Then we're going to talk.
No.
Not the 4th shot drop. Just the 4th shot. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. You don't typically want to drop it, right?
No.
So we'll talk through that. We're also going to do split steps. We're going to talk through some split step things, and then we're also going to go into something that you just saw within the last day or so.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
About letting the ball go and how we probably should be doing that more often. Yeah. Okay.
But wouldn't you say those are 3 things that you and I, as common amateurs, high 4, whatever, low 5 players.
Yeah.
I'm not a 5-0.
Yeah, wow, low 5. You're really...
I was giving that to you.
Oh, you were? Okay.
I am not. Let me be very clear.
My duper would argue, unfortunately, right now. But
shoot, I'm sorry. I was hoping.
Trying to get it back there. So.
Anyways.
As
common to our level of play, those I think are 3 things that everybody could think about.
Especially as we've talked about in our area where lots of people like to bang. Lots of those balls are going out. But we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Let's start with the 4th shot.
Okay.
Drop. I keep wanting to say
Why
drop.
Why do you say that? Yeah, it's not.
It's just the 4th shot. And it's often called like the most underrated or looked over. I'm a big fan of the 4-0 to Pro podcast. They call it the Rodney Dangerfield of pickleball shots because it gets no respect. I'm not going to do my Rodney Dangerfield.
I don't even know who that guy is.
Are you serious right now? No.
I literally don't know who that is.
That was a play to look young. Ladies and gentlemen, do not believe. You absolutely know who Rodney Dangerfield is.
Is he the guy that jumps things with motorcycles?
Goodness gracious. This is not real.
I'm dead serious.
No, that's Evel Knieval.
Oh.
Rodney Dangerfield would be a great name for that guy.
Right.
Seriously, you're ridiculous. I can't even think
Let's
straight now.
focus.
Okay, so the fourth shot, the most underrated shot or overlooked shot.
Also known as Evel Knieval.
The Evel Knieval shot of pickleball shots. Goodness gracious. So, few things to think about.
Okay.
You start. What's
well,
number
I
one?
was going to say you set yourself up for a good fourth shot by having a deep return that helps you get as far as you can until you have to split step, which put a pin in that topic because we will also talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have enough loft on it, or it's deep enough pace, and if you can get to the line, get to the line.
Yeah. More loft is going to give you more time to get to the line.
And let's just acknowledge that Abby's returns for the past month, I have a problem.
Yeah.
I can't. I have is it called the yips?
Yeah, the yips is
What's
when
that?
they just would. I think it's a version of the yips.
Yeah.
They're just you've got the shorts.
They're terrible.
I'll say you have the shorts because they are. You're leaving them all short.
I know.
And then you'll say you'll try, and then you'll hit one long. So you're just having trouble finding that happy medium.
Struggling.
I think, just an aside, we should work on this. I think you need to just work on putting more loft on
Okay,
it.
let's do that.
Because if you work on more loft, I feel like you can dial in more. You're going to be able to hit it a little harder and hopefully get it a little deeper. I think that'll help you even get in more. So.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody, though, have a minute where they're like, I have forgotten how to
Yeah.
dink, serve, whatever.
Actually,
right now, it's returns. I can't do it.
I love that suggestion for you, especially because you do have good hands. So even if you are leaving them short and you put a little more loft on it, you're going to get up further. You have good enough hands then.
Yeah.
If somebody chooses to attack that, you're going to be up closer to the net.
So that's a really good tip.
Yeah, there you go.
If you're struggling with your returns, loft them more. There we go.
On the fly, now you can work on it.
I will.
All right, so we want to set it up is what we're talking about first.
Setting up the fourth shot is a good return.
Is a good return in getting up to the line.
Getting to the line.
To add to that, though, I would say one thing that I heard is we've kind of been watching different pods or reading different things that somebody said, and I don't know who to credit this to exactly, but it might have been Scott Fliegelman through
the
4 Pro. But they were talking about don't be afraid to split step if you don't get there. It's not an all or nothing thing.
I know.
We've said that before with you're working your way into the kitchen, but it's also that way for getting to the line. You really should. If you hit a good return, it should be a no-brainer that you get to the line. But if you don't...
But a lot of people are driving their thirds now, so if you're getting a drive at you...
Yep. So if you don't, it's okay to take a couple shots.
Right.
And even you'll probably get in, even if you don't hit a great return, you're still going to get close enough to the line that if you're under control, and again, we'll talk about more split steps in a little bit, but they kind of go together, then you're going to be able to be under control and you can get that fourth shot how you want to hit it and then get to the line.
Right. And you and I, I'll just say me, I'm trying to get to the line as fast as possible because I'm very comfortable at the line.
Yeah.
And so that's just, it's not smart.
Yeah.
I'm not being smart.
Yeah. So speaking of being smart, the next thing we had written down was be appropriately aggressive.
Yeah.
So you want to be aggressive with that. So if
with
the ball's,
your fourth shot.
Right. So if the ball's popped up to you, if
well,
somebody
if their
leaves their third high, right?
Is popped up,
attack it.
Attack it.
Yeah. However, if they hit a great shot, don't be afraid
just dink it.
To just dink it.
Get into the dinking.
It's like you're saying, hey,
acknowledge the beauty of their third shot.
Yep. And let them get in. That's fine. Don't try to be aggressive with a great third shot.
And so often we are.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was really interesting, and I need to process this, is on that 4 Pro podcast, they said hitting back at the feet aggressively is a better choice than hitting the angle.
Okay. So
I feel like we're an angle community here in Fort Wayne.
So
we want all the angles, don't we?
Yeah. So if I'm on the left and somebody hits me a third,
one that you can aggressively.
Saying, when you say my angle, what do you mean by that?
I think the podcast was referencing it is a better shot for you that top spin, aggressive roll volley back at their feet versus trying to hit it away from them so they have to chase it down. Because that's risky. You might hit it out. Mm-hmm. You might hit it in the net.
Yeah, that really spoke to you. I'm not sure if I quite fully understand.
Yeah.
But
because a lot of us are trying to hit it to the open space, which I don't disagree with.
Okay. So
he was just saying it's a better shot.
Specifically in direction, trying to hit it at
their feet.
Not just at their feet, meaning that depth, but specifically at their
feet is a better shot than, trying to send them off court.
Okay.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I would totally agree that
you would totally agree.
Want to find their feet.
We just have a lot of angle people here who hit the angles, and I don't think that's a terrible shot, but it's risky. I guess as I processed it, that's risky.
Yeah. Depth is better than direction.
Yeah, I would.
More or less.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's
something to think about.
Like, just kind of a side thought with golf. It's kind of the same thing. In your putting, I was always a pretty good putter, and I always said that like speed matters more than direction. I can have, you're never going to be like so far off in your directions that you're putting the opposite way of the hole. So you're trying to get it like on course, on line. However, the most important thing is to make sure you got your speed right, which is really a product of how hard you're hitting the ball, how far back you're hitting the ball. So I see a little bit of a correlation.
That's interesting.
There. Yeah. Kind of, you mentioned it already, but that top spin roll is a shot that I would say is a fourth shot thing to really work on. You want to get better at the fourth shot. It's taking that volley out of the air. We're not talking about the one where somebody leaves a third super high and you can slam it down. But we're talking
like waist level,
waist level, even a little below, that you can kind of get that upward spin and roll the ball to get it back to their feet, enough to get over the net and down. I was actually out here this morning working, and I had the ball machine out, and I was working on that specifically, having the ball hit at basically my waist level from the baseline, like what a drop would be, and then just kind of trying to roll that back. And it takes some practice. I mean, there's too many times that
I like, if I try to put extra topspin on it, I'll like hit the back curtain. I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted.
Right. Or too much backspin the other way in the net. So there is a happy medium there. It really is a feel shot.
Right.
And you need the reps of that.
Two things from that is they acknowledged on this podcast, like, that's a hard shot. So thank you for that. Because sometimes so many people have it who come from tennis. I have not mastered it yet. And I feel like that kind of took pressure off me. Like, it's okay. I can still get better at it.
Right.
But it's time to drill.
Yeah.
How many times have we said that?
Yeah.
Fort Wayne needs to drill.
Yeah. We mentioned the 4-0 to Pro. They recently did a pod on the drop. The Dink also had an article that was kind of the inspiration of us talking about this more and more. And Johnson Cola gave like 4 different tips. We've covered a lot of them already. But one that I thought was really interesting, and this is a little surprise for you, I wanted to address specifically, because I know how much you love it
when you coach
me. You do. Who cares about your game maybe even more than you do? This guy. I don't know. But this, I thought, especially related to you, it said, force the volley. If the other team is in the transition zone, hit the ball just beyond their feet. So again, kind of to their feet, even just beyond their feet. Force them to take the ball out of the air, because it is more difficult to reset the ball, Abigail Brandenberger, out of the air than it is off the bounce. There are times, and listen.
Are you saying I need to let the ball bounce more and take more balls off the bounce?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Okay.
Glad we cleared that up.
If you can volley the ball and you can put pressure on your opponent, but if it's a surrender dink or it's a shot that you're not being aggressive with, why not? You're not going to be aggressive with it. Why not let it bounce? And you know what? Sometimes off the bounce, you can then get aggressive.
Be aggressive. Okay.
So, okay. Just saying.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You're
Every
welcome.
bit of it.
I am always willing to coach you.
You sure are.
You know what? Recently, just a side story here. Our girls are playing basketball now.
Yeah.
And we recorded them. You actually recorded them. And we had a fun little family
film
session.
We had tape time for third graders.
We did. And they loved it. They were eating it up, and they loved seeing themselves play. And, they're still like, it's almost like us in pickleball in the very early stages.
Right. We're just
excited. Eager to learn. We're eating it all up. They're learning things like help side defense, and they're learning just
bounce
very
passes.
Basics of stay between your man and the basket type thing. So
You're
was
saying
cool.
I should be more like the third graders?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it was like the first time in my adult life with one of my family members, because our oldest girls don't love to be coached either.
They sure don't.
And neither does their mother.
Nope.
So thank you to Emmy and Parker. Big shout out
You're
to
the
you
best ones.
for being teachable. So,
okay.
Great job. All right. On that note, let's take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back. We're going to have a couple other discussions, and we'll take it from there. See you right after this.
Parents, your teen driver or soon-to-be driver looks to you for guidance on safe driving techniques.
Drive Alive is an organization dedicated to young driver safety. Visit our website at drivealiveindiana.org to view videos designed to facilitate conversations between parents and their teen drivers.
Topics include getting to know your vehicle, understanding car insurance, simple car maintenance, and what to do if you just had an accident.
Visit drivealiveindiana.org to learn more. Welcome back to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. Thanks as always to our sponsor, Drive Alive. Speaking of Drive Alive, I took my daughter, who's is it legal to do this? No?
It's not.
Okay, well, it's in a parking lot.
Go ahead and tell everybody.
Okay, I'll tell everybody. I'm sure there's no law enforcement
Everybody
watching.
does it. Everybody does it.
Yeah, and just in a parking lot. I did take our. Did I end up taking Eleanor with us? I told her she couldn't go. Okay.
You did. You
At
took
first I
our
told her
7-year-old.
She couldn't go. And let me tell you, I was driver's ed instructor for many a year.
Yes, you were.
And I didn't realize how important it is to have that brake on
the chicken foot?
the chicken foot on my side. Because driving with my 14-year-old daughter, she did an amazing job. And she took it more seriously than anything she's ever taken in her life, which was a little frustrating, but still encouraging because my life and my 7-year-old daughter's was at stake. But she did great. But there was a time, like coming around, we're at the church, school, and kind of coming around by the ball diamonds, where there's a little curve. And I was like, okay, now slow down and brake. And I'm thinking, if she hits the gas instead of the brake, we're going in the dugout. And this is going to be like no good.
Terrible.
And I can't stop it. Like,
right.
I could grab the wheel, but then that's going to make it even worse. So I was like, just make sure you know where the brake's at. So that was lesson number 1. We went over it several times. Anyways.
You drove alive.
We did drive alive, and it's a very important cause. So
Okay.
make sure you're talking to your teens about not texting, driving, all that stuff. Be a better example than this one is, for sure. And that's what I told Hannah. I said, I don't care what your mother or me, I'm not that much better, does. We have tons of experience. You will not have a phone out, period.
Right.
So,
right.
anyways, all
All right.
Moving on to our next topic of split steps. We kind of touched on them already. So what do you want to say about split steps?
The timing of your split step. So, well, first of all, I'm just going to say I'm coming at this from somebody who has to work on it. So I am not saying this from any level of authority.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Well, as I'm working on it.
Yes.
Again, not coming from tennis or anything, I don't have this background, but having yourself under control when you're getting ready to hit the ball. So you don't have to actually be stopped, but it's like a pause. I heard it likened to like hopscotch, where you hop on 2 legs in order to hop on 1 leg. So it's not that you're jumping and stopping, it's like a millisecond pause to do the next thing. And so, excuse me, your split step timing, I was reading as a novice. So if you're just beginning, you need to be not moving before your opponent hits the ball. So if they haven't hit the ball
just before they hit it,
you should stop moving. When you're intermediate, right when your opponent hits the ball, so you've gotten a little better, right when your opponent hits the ball.
Right at contact.
Let's just pause for a second. And then as you get more advanced, you can be a little riskier, which I think that's where I think I was doing well with the split step, but now I've gotten probably too aggressive, and that's what's happening is I'm being too greedy. And so you can split step after they hit the ball, but
you'll see that with pros. They're split stepping like that split second after the ball is hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm getting to the point where I'm anticipating too many poaches and I'm getting a little kamikaze on the course.
It's like you've been watching me too much.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to work on stepping that back a little bit and taking that split step, because like I can think of people in my head who I see not split stepping. Like,
do you want to name names?
No.
Friends?
Nope.
Nope.
But they look like they're about to tip over at any moment because they're running everywhere and I can see
Husbands?
it. Yes. No.
Nailed it.
But it's like, it's hard. It's easy to see it. It's hard to do it.
Right. And you actually pointed it out in one of the people we play with. And I'm like, I do identify. Like, I'm like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of made me more conscious of, I want to be more under control.
Sturdy, balanced, and steady.
And in our circle, when I think of the epitome of this, I think of Mindy, for sure, is like that, just very under control. I was going to say Ryan Kern.
Oh, sure,
but
sure.
Ryan and a lot of the tennis players who have...
A lot of the tennis players just have that.
Yeah, because they have the repetition over and over and over in tennis. It's just like they don't even think about it.
We are still...
They're just split stepping.
Making those muscle memories.
Yeah,
so we have a lot to work on. But that's just kind of my, like, that's almost like an injury prevention type thing, where if you are just more under control, you are more balanced, you're not going to, most likely, you're not going to twist an ankle, tear an ACL or whatever. And then obviously that would be my also little plug for plyometrics. You will have a better split step and better balance off that split step if you are doing plyometrics at home. And how many times have I said it in our podcast?
Said it a lot.
50 million times. Grab a jump rope. And just go jump rope. It's super easy, and it'll make you better. It'll make you better at pickleball.
One other thing to add, I would say, in terms of the split step, I always like to think of it like a jump stop. And I know it's not a stop, and I do like this. It's a quick jump stop, but I come from the basketball world and just kind of coming to that, like that 1-2 stop. But what I learned from this and from our conversations is that it's a millisecond. It's not a stop and wait.
It's not triple threat.
You're on your toes. Triple threat's on your toes, but you're on your toes, but you're really getting ready to respond. It's the time to load up so that you can hit that next shot. Man, I think of the Kawamotos and how like they're always just loading up. And I mean, I guess because I've played with them a little bit, like I've seen Jackie do that, where as soon as she split steps, it's not just like split step and wait, easier for me to say, but it's split step and react and be ready to go.
It's like a
load
pause.
up.
It's just a pause.
It's just a pause and
to recover your balance.
And not
really
be
good.
out of control.
We probably all can picture somebody in our heads who just can kind of get pushed all over the court off balance.
Who's just running around back and forth like a chicken with their head cut off. Good. Anything else on split steps?
I'm going to be working on it.
Same.
Let's drill this.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's something I have to get that repetition, to get that muscle memory, I have to think about it every time. Like, okay, this point, I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to go split step. And I also think like a good tip for me recently has been thinking of like James Ignatowicz, who is like Happy Feet, Mr. Happy Feet.
Oh my goodness.
So I've been trying to like kind of bounce around more. That just kind of kind of gets your body, your movements going, and then kind of can help you do that. So I would think that's why he does it. And as I've been kind of trying to channel my inner James, that's kind of what I've been doing.
I think that's good. It keeps you on your toes.
Absolutely, literally.
Last
thing we wanted to talk about was letting the ball go.
Yes. And only because I just saw this, I think Dane Gingrich puts a lot of good stuff on Facebook.
Shout out to Dane.
Shout out to Dane. He had just said, and a lot of you probably saw this, but in case you didn't, he was saying he played with a bunch of 4.550s, and his only goal in that
session
was any ball that was sped up or driven from a low point, he was just going to let go and see how many went out.
Yeah, and which is somewhat subjective. What's a drive versus
this
what's
this is very unscientific. He even said that this is very unscientific, but his unscientific findings were 61% of those balls went out. Now,
that's unbelievable.
That's absolutely crazy. Yeah. I have let a lot of balls go when they're in, and it irritates me.
Yeah.
But always worth working on, I guess is what I'm saying.
We've definitely played with people where I'm like, let's see one land in, and if it lands in, great, more power to them. Then we'll start hitting them. But I want to see one land in from this person because I swear these are all going out.
That banger that we played against in nationals that just lit me up. one of them, I see him ready, so I just bail to the sideline.
Do you remember what he said on that?
It was in. Right. Yeah. What did he say?
Well, he saw you.
He saw me bailing,
and he took something off of it. So
I can't win.
Yeah. So you have to disguise. If you're going to bail, don't run off the court. You were actually sitting down by the time you hit it.
I was drinking water.
You were having a sip of water. So yeah.
I know, but still, it's frustrating when you do let it go.
Yeah,
and then it's in.
Leave us some feedback though. Let us know what. Try this and count it up and see how many balls go out, and if you have the same findings that Dane did. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. But I always joke like, well, I'm here to play.
Right. I think it also matters the ball you're playing with too.
Right.
If you're playing with Duras, I bet that percentage goes higher than if you're playing with Franklin.
And actually, somebody else said, and maybe I don't know who said this, but somebody said it's actually the more confident you are with your hands, the more you'll hit the ball because you're confident in yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's true. I'm fairly confident in my hands, so I'll hit everything.
Yeah, but to me, it's also similar to when we talk about sit on fastball, and what we mean by that is be ready for the hard shot.
Absolutely.
But along with the sit on fastball, be ready for the hard shot, have in your head, be ready to let this ball
Yeah.
go. Have that
Yeah.
be your default thought.
Yeah.
So if the ball is hit hard and a little high, you're already thinking, I'm going to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then
That's
if it's not,
so hard to do though.
it
Like
is.
there's this highlight that I saw, and I don't know if you saw it, was Vivian David. And she's like in this firefight and then just takes a knee, and it was out by like a millimeter.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
was that smart or just a great guess?
and I'm going to say she's brilliant.
She is brilliant.
'Cause we love her.
We do love Vivian David.
But it was, I mean, watching that highlight, I was like, she was in the firefight,
Yeah.
duck.
And then down.
I don't have that.
And she's not real big to begin with. So
Yeah.
she was kind of,
So how she knew,
Yeah,
I mean, I was so impressed.
that's pretty impressive.
I need to channel that.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna end with things we love, but I got a fun one for you. We were kind of talking about this. Shout out, first of all, to our producer for this episode is Nick Henney.
Ooh.
Nick works with us at Ace Pickleball doing some video work, and he volunteered to produce this for us. So thanks to Nick. But before we started rolling, we were talking about like things that you've bought online before and got like scammed in. So
This is
Nick
great.
shared like the scooter that he did.
It had big wheels.
Had big wheels, and his wife kind of tried to surprise him, and they never got it.
Right.
$150 gone. We
Right.
had a hot tub,
Uh-huh.
like a inflatable portable one.
Uh-huh.
We were like super excited about.
Never came.
Never came.
And
we
then
had,
what did I just
oh, yeah,
buy?
you had a dog,
I forgot about it. A human-sized dog bed.
which sounded amazing.
It looked amazing.
Right. I was like, why didn't you order two?
I know. Well,
Yeah, they never came.
I
Did we lose? I feel like we got the hot tub money
we
back.
got the hot tub money back. No, $40 down the drain.
For the dog bed?
Yeah.
Not cool.
Sorry.
I
It
hate-
looked so cozy.
I do not like getting scammed. Not cool at all.
What have you been scammed by?
I mean, it's happened. The dog bed comes to mind.
Yeah.
Most recently. So, all right.
Okay.
Anything else? What do you love? Let's end. It's
Um,
Christmas season. What
It
do
is
you?
also almost my birthday next
Oh,
week,
yeah.
so
Happy almost birthday.
thank you.
Yep. And yeah, I love this season. Christmas Vacation. We watched that as a family the other night. There's so many parts that I always like. Chevy Chase in that movie is unbelievable.
We failed to watch the edited version with all of our children, though.
Yeah.
That was shocking. I was like,
Well, shocking. Forgot about a few of the words,
forget about the
a few
F
of the
words.
scenes. There's one. I didn't just think one.
There's
F
just
word.
one.
Yeah. It's a good one though. It's well timed.
Well timed.
Yeah.
So kids, if you're gonna say the F word, make sure it's well timed.
No, we don't endorse
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I just
And the other thing I would just add that I love, again, is my job. I'm so thankful for this place. We just went through the hiring process, and I'm going to add to that, like the people I work with. We're going to have an incredible team here. So a big plug for Ace Pickleball to come out, check us out. We have hired close to 30 member
wow,
specialists.
that's amazing.
And to do that in a short period of time and to get the quality people that we got.
I'd like to think I played a big part in that.
You were helpful. I'll give you about
Thank you.
5% of the people were kind of
Okay.
through you,
Okay,
maybe.
I'll take it.
I don't know what that number would be roughly, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I
like
sent people
one
your
and a
way.
half, 1.5 persons. So
Like
No, it was-
4.
okay, maybe 4. You're right. So very excited about the staff we got. Excited about this place opening up. Sorry for all the noise in the background, but hopefully you could hear us just fine. But it's still under construction. But we're getting close,
Okay.
very close. And sign up for those memberships if you have not already. That Founders Club deal that we have, if you're a member of Fort Wayne Pickleball, and if you're not, you can become a member of Fort Wayne Pickleball. You're never going to beat that deal
No.
for the rest of time.
Yep.
So
For the rest of all time.
all time. So come on
Yeah.
in, check out this place. Even if you're not a member, you'll be able to come check out the courts, and then you're going to want to be a member, and you're going to regret not getting in early. So
Okay.
Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. All right. Good job. Love you.
Love you.
See you. Till next time, thanks for joining us on One More Game. Bye-bye. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Drive Alive Indiana, Pickleball Rocks, Ace Pickleball, and Wheelan Real Estate. Reach out to Abby B for all your buying, selling, investing, and other real estate needs. In addition, a big thank you to the Ace Pickleball Studio in the world-famous Spiece Fieldhouse. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number One More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the love. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun tips, tricks, and other family shenanigans. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time.